أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته and welcome to another one of your G2 classes. I hope and pray that today everyone is doing well, and I hope that this lesson is beneficial for each and every one of you. Just before we start the class, can everyone please right now make sure that they have signed in using the correct IDs? You can check if you signed in with the correct IDs by going to the participant list, which you will find at the bottom of your screen. And right at the top should be your name. In brackets, it should state me next to it to indicate that it's your ID. If you do realize that you have used the incorrect ID, please do use the rename facility to rename yourself so that you can be called to the mic. If you do come in with the incorrect IDs, we will not be able to call you to the mic. So please quickly just check right now if you have signed in with the correct IDs. And if you have any questions or queries, do not hesitate to email us at ukquranclass@gmail.com, and feel free to visit our website at ahmadiyya.uk/NQC. So today, as you can see, today's Thursday. We're just going to look at our agenda quickly before we start the class. So we're going to start off our class, inshallah, with an opening dua. We're going to be looking at our rule and focus, which is a work on tanween, specifically the fathatain, so the tanween of fatha. We are going to be going through the practice text as well today. We're going to be covering Surah Al-Adiyat, and we're going to be going through the letter of the day as well. These two letters, we've already covered them, but it's just to as a revision for you all. And then inshallah, towards the end, we are going to summarize the lesson, and we will conclude the session with a closing dua. So as always, we are going to start our class off with an opening dua. Assalamu alaikum, co-host.
Assalamu alaikum warahmatullahi.
Wa alaikum salam. May I please have a student on the mic for the opening dua?
Yes, I'm going to call G2151.
Yep, G2151. Assalamu alaikum. G2151. Assalamu alaikum.
Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum salam. How are you today?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good too, alhamdulillah. Jazakumullah for asking. Okay, may you please start off with recite this following prayer for me, please?
Okay. Rabbi allimni ma khayru indaka.
Okay, sorry to stop you, but could you just start off with Dawood and Tasmiyah? A'udhu billah and Bismillah, please.
Okay. A'udhu billahi minash shaitanir rajim. Bismillahir rahmanir rahim. Rabbi allimni ma huwa khayru indaka.
Perfect, mashallah, very nicely recited. And could you please read out the English for me?
Oh my Lord, teach me what is best for me in your knowledge.
Perfect. Jazakallah khair. That was very nice recitation. Jazakallah. Okay, so now that we've gone through our opening dua, we're going to be looking at the rule in focus. So for that, I'm just going to share a new screen quickly. So hopefully you guys can all see that. So last Thursday, in your last Thursday's class, you guys covered two kinds of work. So you guys went through the kasratain, how to pause on a kasratain, and how to pause on a dhammatain. Today we are going to be looking at how to pause on a fathatain. Okay, so you looked at two types of tanween last week, and today you're going to be looking at the last or the third type of tanween and how we are going to pause on it. Okay, so before we move on, we have to understand what waqf means. So waqf means to pause or to stop at the last vowel letter of a word by breaking the voice and breath during the recitation. So simply, sometimes we cannot read a whole ayah in one breath or in one go. So it's important that we do take a breath in between. We pause, we take a breath, and then we carry on so that we are able to complete the verse. Now,
Excuse me. Assalamu alaikum.
Ji wa alaikum salam.
Your voice is a little bit breaking sometime. If you just check, yeah, everything is okay.
Okay, is it still breaking right now?
It's better now.
It's better now. Okay. If it starts breaking again, could you please just stop me in between again so I can change the connection?
Okay.
Okay, perfect. Jazakallah. Okay, so you break when we do waqf, it basically means to pause, and we are stopping at the last vowel letter, and we break our breath. Okay, so for those of you who couldn't hear me properly because my voice must be cutting, we cannot complete a full verse, sometimes all in one breath. And so we do waqf, basically we pause so that we can take a breath and then carry on reading from there. Okay, so that's basically what waqf is. Now, today, as I said, we're going to be looking at the pausing on a fathatain. Okay, fathatain is basically two strokes of fatha, yeah? So you will be showing that in a second as well. So the rule is that if a word ends with a tanween of fatha, it will change to a fatha with an alif, okay? So say you're reading the Quran and you are pausing on a word because you've run out of breath and you want to gain your breath again. So for that, the word that you are pausing on, if the last letter that you're pausing on has got the tanween of fatha or a fathatain on top, you would change that into a fatha, only just a simple fatha with an alif. So let's quickly go through a few examples with you. I'll be giving you examples of how it is written in the Quran and how you're going to read if you are meant to pause. Yep. Is my voice still breaking up?
Yeah, it was a little bit, but it's better again.
Okay, if you could just hold on with me for 1 second,
Okay.
I'll just change my connection. Okay, is my voice better now?
It's better.
Okay, hopefully it should be fine for the rest of the lesson.
Inshallah.
Inshallah. Okay, sorry everyone for this inconvenience that's been caused. Okay, let's just quickly look at the first example here today, okay? So we have this first word here. Let me read it out for you. مقدورا مقدورا. Okay, so you're giving a jerking sound on the qaf because qaf is one of your jerking letters, or you can say one of your qalqala letters. And here, this right here is the ra. Now you're reading the Quran, imagine you are pausing on top of this ra, and you can see that clearly there is a fathatain present on top, basically the two strokes of fatha. Okay, right here. And if you are pausing, this letter, so that tanween of fatha is going to change into a ra with just a fatha on top, okay? So here it had two strokes of fatha, so you had fathatain on top, but when you are pausing, that is now going to change into a ra with just a fatha on top, followed by a blank alif, okay? So if I show you how you would read if you were pausing, مقدورا مقدورا. And as you can see, I'm elongating it for 2 seconds towards the end. I'm stretching the sound out for 2 seconds towards the end. Why? Because you can see that there is a blank alif and the letter before that, right? So there's a blank alif and the letter before that has got a fatha on top. So that sort of changes into an alif mad, okay? So مقدورا is now going to change into مقدورا, and then we're elongating it for 2 seconds towards the end, okay? If we look at the next example, you have جزءا, جزءا, okay? You can clearly see that there is a hamza with a fathatain on top here. So hamza with a fathatain. And if we were to pause, this hamza with a fathatain is now going to change into a hamza with just a fatha. So as we mentioned over here, it would change to a fatha with an alif. So that's what we meant. That tanween is going to change into just one fatha with an alif. And since there's a blank alif and the letter before that has got a fatha on top, we are going to elongate it for 2 seconds. So we're going to read it as juz'a, juz'a. Okay, so just quickly to recap, if we were reading and we weren't stopping, we would say juz'an. But now, since we are doing waqf, we are pausing on this letter right here. It's going to change into just a normal fatha with a alif. You're going to read it as juz'a. Okay, just looking at the next, or let's say the last example, we have أكلل من. Okay, you can clearly see there is a meme, yep, and it's got a fathatain on top. Right here, here's the fathatain, yeah, 2 strokes of fatha. And if we were to pause on this letter, that will change into a meme with a fatha on top, and this has basically got the alif joined to it. So the alif is still there, but rather it is joined to the meme. So if we are pausing, we are going to say أكلل ما. So this is the rule of pausing on a fathatain. As I said, you guys learned how to pause on a kasratain and a dammatain last week. We told you that if you are pausing on a kasratain or a dammatain, what happens is that you replace that with a sukoon or a jazm. But with fathatain, it's very different. With fathatain, there is no sukoon or jazm involved in it at all. It's basically now just going to change into just 1 stroke of fatha and alif right next to it. Okay, and then we're going to elongate it for 2 seconds towards the end. So that is the rule for today. If you're not understanding it too well at the moment, don't worry. We are going to be going through a few practice texts as well, one of the practice texts, and inshallah, it should make a bit more sense to you once you go through a few examples. So if I share the screen of my PDFs with you. Right here. So hopefully you can see that. And just to quickly make sure, co-host, is my voice still breaking up?
No, it's better.
It's better, okay, perfect. So this is the rule that we went through today. We learned how we are going to pause on a fathatain, and you must have learned as well right now or understood that the way we pause on a fathatain is very different to the way we pause on a kasratain and a dammatain. But as I said, we are going to be going through Surah Al-Adiyat today to help us understand this rule a bit more. And so again, if I call you to the mic and you have any questions, you can ask me, okay? So just before we move on to the surah or before we practice any text, we need to understand a few facts about the surah. So we know that in the Holy Quran, there are 30 total number of parts, okay? So the 30 juz, there are 30 parts, okay? And there are 114 chapters, or in other words, there are 114 surahs within the Holy Quran. The total number of verses within the Holy Quran is 6,348, and the total number of rukus is 558. But the surah that we're going to be looking at today, Surah Al-Adiyat in particular, was actually reviewed. Sorry, 2 seconds. Yep. So it's in part 30 of the Holy Quran, and it's chapter number 100. Okay. It's got 12 total numbers, 12 total number of verses within that surah. It has 1 ruku. So out of 558 rukus that there are in the Holy Quran, Surah Al-Adiyat only has 1 ruku. It was revealed in Makkah. So as you may already be aware, some surahs are revealed in Mecca and some surahs are revealed in Medina. So this one happens to be revealed in Makkah. And the order of revelation is 14. So it was the 14th chapter to be revealed. Okay. So now that we've done that, we are going to be moving on to this surah, okay? Inshallah, I'm going to be calling students to the mic so that we can all practice this surah together. And if anyone that comes on the mic can point out the rule of the day today, then that will be great. Okay, I haven't highlighted it purposely because I wanted to see how you guys can incorporate the rule today. So pausing on a fathatain is what we're talking about here. So co-host, may I please have a student on the mic to help me recite the surah?
Yes, I'm going to call G2221.
Okay. G2221. Assalamu alaikum. G2221. Assalamu alaikum.
I can't unmute for him.
Okay, let me just unmute them quickly. G2221. Okay. I'll ask you to unmute. All right, no worries. If we could move on to the next student.
I'm going to call G2152.
Okay. G2152. Assalamu alaikum.
Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum salam. How are you today?
I am fine. How are you?
I'm good too, alhamdulillah. Okay, so did you understand the rule that was taught today, or are you a bit unsure about it?
I'm a little unsure about it.
Okay, no worries. So today, inshallah, when I'm helping you through the surah, then I can explain the rule using the Quranic text, okay? So let's do this. Please start off with Ta'awud and Tasmiyah, and then I'll help you recite these verses together, yeah?
Okay. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم.
Perfect. Very nicely recited. Now, I'll recite this full verse for you once, and then we'll break up into words and you can repeat after me, okay?
Okay.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم والعاديات ضبحا. So let's break that up now. والعاديات
والعاديات.
Perfect. Just remember, this letter right here, is it one of our throat letters?
No.
Ayn actually is one of your throat letters, but it comes from the middle of your throat, yeah? So try saying Ayn for me.
Ayn.
Perfect. You said it very nicely now. So let's try that one more time. وَالْعَادِيَاتِ.
والعاديات.
Perfect. You very beautifully said the Ayn sound here. ضَبْحًا.
ضبها.
Very good. So we're giving a round mouth on this letter here, okay? And sort of like a thick sound. Now, are we meant to be giving a jerking sound here?
Yes.
Perfect, yes, because ba, if it comes up with a sukoon, yeah, or a jazm on top, then it is one of our kalkala letters. So well done for that. So there is this letter here. What do you notice it has on top? Do you know what this is called?
Tanveen.
Very good. So to be specific, it is the tanween of fatha. But just to save yourself from saying tanween of fatha, which is a very long phrase, you can just say fathatain. So say fathatain for me quickly. Okay, that's very good. Now, when we were pausing towards the end, we said dabaha. Now, you might ask yourself, even though this ha has got a fathatain on top, yes, we would normally say han if we are not pausing. Am I right?
Yes.
Yep. But because we are pausing now, we're saying dabaha, and we're stretching the sound out for 2 seconds towards the end. So what's happened is that one stroke of the tanveen, of the fathatain, has now vanished. And you are now left with just one stroke of fatha and an alif. So that was the rule of today. When we are pausing on a fathatain, so when we are pausing on this symbol or stroke here, then we are going to change that into a simple fatha. A simple fatha, which basically is this symbol right here is a fatha, yeah? So rather than saying dabahan when we are pausing, we're going to end up saying dabaha, yeah?
Dabaha.
Perfect. Very nicely recited. Let's look at the next verse. فَالْمُورِيَاتِ قَدْحًا. So let's break that up into little words now. فَالْمُورِيَاتِ
فالموريات
قَدْحًا.
قدحا.
Very good. MashaAllah, you're giving a very good ha sound over here. And again, as you can see, the rule that we've covered today has come up again here as well, yeah? You can see there is a fathatain, but when we are pausing, we are going to act like there is just a fatha there with an alif, which is right here, joined to the ha, and then we are going to elongate it. How long are we going to elongate it for?
2 seconds.
Yes, very well said. Well done. So we're going to be elongating it for 2 seconds. So if I read this full as one verse, then repeat after me, please. فَالْمُورِيَاتِ قَدْحًا.
فالموريات قدحا.
Perfect. Very nicely recited. So if we look at this next verse here, فَالْمُغِيرَاتِ صُبْحًا. So let's say that word by word now. فَالْمُغِيرَاتِ.
فالمؤيرات.
Okay, so just remember this is a gha, and the way we know it's a gha and not an ayn is because this one has actually got a dot on top, yeah? So the ayn here, it didn't have a dot on top, did it?
No.
No, exactly, well done. So with this is a ghain because it looks like an ayn, but it's got a dot on top. So that's how we know it's a ghain. So well done. Let's look at the next word quickly. Subha.
Subhan.
Very good. Now you've been given the ha sound very beautifully in these past verses that we've just read. So try and say subha for me again, but saying it just the way you said the ha before.
Subhan.
Very good. Well done, mashallah. Very nicely recited. And again, the rule has come here as well. We've got a fathatain, but when we are pausing towards the end, we are elongating it a bit. And we are getting rid of one stroke of the fatha, and we're basically just left with one fatha and then alif. Obviously, when you're reading it, you can't see it. Yeah. But that's something that you have to imagine in your mind, or something that just comes more with practice. So inshallah, you will get there soon. So let's look at the next verse. فأثرن به نقعا.
فأثرنا به نقعا.
Okay, well done. So just remember, you accidentally left out the alif here, yeah? So try say فأثرن.
فأثرنا.
Perfect. And this tha, you cannot give it the sound of a scene, okay? I can't really find a scene right now, but a scene basically looks something like this, yeah?
Mm-hmm.
This is what a scene normally looks like. So these two letters, people tend to mix up their sounds together. Remember, you cannot give it a scene sound. Try saying th for me. Okay, well done. So the sound is basically given, you get the tip of the tongue and you place it at the bottom of the top teeth or the edge, you can say. So let's try that once more. فَأَثَرْنَا.
فأثرنا.
Very good, mashallah. Very nicely recited. بِهِ نَقْعًا.
به نقعا.
Very good. And why do you think we are giving a kalkala sound or like a jerking sound here?
Because it has the qalqala on the qaf.
Okay, so yeah, qaf is one of your kalkala letters, yeah? And it's got a sukoon or a jazm on top. So whenever there's a kalkala letter, which has got a sukoon or a jazm on top, you're going to be giving a jerking sound, yeah?
Mhm.
Yeah, perfect. So that's the rule here. And again, the rule that we were going through today has come up again. Yeah? You've got a fathatain, but when we are pausing, we're stretching the sound out and we are getting rid of one of the strokes. So let's say that one more time. Naqa'a.
نقرأ.
Perfect. And just looking at the last verse here. فَبَسَطْنَا بِهِ جَمْعًا. So if I break that up for you now a bit. فَبَسَطْنَا.
فوسطنا.
Well done. And remember, ta as well is one of your kalkala letters. That's why we're giving a jerking sound here. به جمعا.
به جمعا.
Well done. And what do you see on top over here?
The تشديد.
Okay, so a tashdid is like a little W sign that comes on top of a letter, like this one here. Yeah? This one is known as a fathatain. Say that for me, please.
فتاتين.
Very good. It's a fathatain, and we normally give an an sound, yeah? But because we're pausing, we've ended up saying and that's what I've been explaining. It basically is that you're getting rid of one stroke of the fatha, and you're basically left with like an alif and one stroke of fatha, and then you elongate it for how long?
2 seconds.
Yes, 2 seconds. Well done. So, do you want to recite these two verses by yourself?
Okay.
Perfect. Well done. Go for it.
فأسرنا به نقعا. فوسطنا به جمعا.
Very nicely recited, mashallah. And just remember, there was something I noticed, but I've forgotten what it was now. So, yeah, any letter which has got a fatha, dhamma, or kasra on top, you only elongate it for 1 second. How many seconds do you elongate it for?
1.
Well done. Very good. So 1 second. So here, rather than saying فَبَسَطْنَا, you're just going to, you can see there is just a fatha on top. So you're just going to elongate that for 1 second. Okay. So try saying فَبَسَطْنَا.
فوسطنا.
Well done. So just like on these letters here, you've just given a 1 second sound. فَبَسَطْ. We're just giving a 1 second sound. That same time or the same duration needs to be given on the noon as well, since it's just got a fatha on top, yeah?
Okay.
Perfect. So well done. It was a very nice recitation. Keep practicing and inshallah you get there soon, yeah? Perfect. Jazakallah khair for your time. Take care.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Allah Hafiz.
Allah Hafiz.
Okay. Allah Hafiz. Okay, so co-host, may I please have another student on the mic?
Yes, I'm going to call G2204.
Yep. G2204. Assalamu alaikum.
There's 2 IDs, so just make sure it's G2204.
Yes. Wa alaikum salam wa rahmatullah. How are you today?
Good.
Alhamdulillah. Is this G2204?
Yes.
Perfect. So we're going to be reciting the following 2 lines. Okay. So can you just recite the awud and tasmiyah, and then inshallah I'll lead you into the recitation, okay?
Okay. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم.
Perfect. Well done. Very nicely recited. Okay, let's look at the first verse. I'll recite the first verse for you once. Since I've already recited the awud and tasmiyah, I will not recite it again. But let's just look at the first verse, and then inshallah we'll break it up and then you can repeat after me, okay?
Okay.
Perfect. إن الإنسان لربه لكنود. So let's break that up into words now. إن الإنسان.
Inna insana.
Perfect. Try saying innal again for me.
Inna
Perfect. إنسان.
insana.
Very good. Have you noticed that we are giving like a hidden nasal sound here? Yeah?
Yeah.
So rather than saying insana and saying the full thing, I'm saying insana. I'm saying it like it's halfway there, like I'm hiding the noon sound a bit. Do you know why we do that?
No.
Okay, so whenever you come across a noon sakin, so like a noon with a jism, you need to make sure that you look at the letter after. What's the letter after here?
Sa.
Very good. It's a sin or a sa, okay? And is sa one of our throat letters?
No.
No, so very well said. Sa is actually not one of our throat letters, and therefore we will end up hiding the sound of the noon. But per se, if the letter after that was a throat letter, yeah, so say it was ha, then you will not give a nasal sound like a hidden nasal sound. You will say in, you will say the full sound. But you need to look at the letter after. And since sa is not one of our throat letters, what are we going to do?
You're going to say the sa instead of the na.
Yeah. So you're saying the sa, that's very well said, but you're going to hide the sound of the noon, yeah?
Okay.
Normally we will say in, but if the letter after that is not one of our throat letters, then you will say il. Can you hear the difference?
Yeah.
So with the first one, in, we are saying a full sound, and with the second one, il, we are just saying it halfway around, okay? We're just giving a hidden nasal sound, okay?
Okay.
Perfect. So let's look at the next word. لِرَبِّهِ.
Mirabbihi.
Okay, this is a lam right here, okay? So when you're joining it, give a lam sound. لِرَبِّهِ.
Lirabbihi.
Perfect. لَكَنُودْ.
Laqanud.
Very good. Now, what do you notice on top of the dal?
I
You don't know?
no.
Okay, no worries. So this here is called a dammatain. What's it called?
Adamatain.
Very good. So when we were reading, we said that this sign here was a fathatain, and now we've come across a sign which is a dammatain. So it's basically 2 strokes of damma here and basically 2 strokes of fatha here. And it's a rule of tanween. So rather than saying, oh, this is an ayn with a tanween of fatha, that just gets very long, doesn't it? So you just say an ayn with fathatain or a dal with dammatain. It's just much easier saying it, yeah? So today we went through the rule of pausing on a fathatain, yeah? I said to you when we were pausing, 1 stroke of the fatha will go, and you will just be left with a fatha, like a normal fatha, with an alif. And we will elongate the sound for how long? So we will elongate the sound for 2 seconds, yeah?
Okay.
Yeah, perfect. So even though these both are tanween, right? When we were pausing on the dal, we said lakanud, right? We didn't elongate the dal sound for 2 seconds, did we?
No.
Yeah, exactly. So what happens here is that the rule of pausing on a dammatain is very different to the rule of pausing on a fathatain. And the way you pause on a dammatain and a kasratain, let me find. This here is a kasratain, 2 strokes of kasra, yeah? Is the same. That will change into a sukoon. So rather than saying lakanudun, I'm saying lakanud, and it's almost as if I'm putting like an imaginary sukoon or a jazm there, yeah? I'm joining the 2 letters together if I'm pausing. but that's not the same with the fathatain or the type of waqf that we have gone through today. Yes?
Yeah.
So that's the difference between the two. Well done. Let's look at the next verse. وَإِنَّهُ عَلَى ذَلِكَ لَشَهِيدٌ. Right, so here again we've come across a dammatain. So when we're pausing, rather than saying la shahidu and elongating it for 2 seconds like we would do with the fathatain, we are going to replace that symbol or that sign with a sakin, with a sukoon or a jazm. So let's just quickly break this up. وَإِنَّهُ على ذلك Okay, just remember this here is a the. Okay, get the tip of your tongue, the, and you place it at the edge of the top part of your teeth. So try saying the for me.
The.
Very good. So let's try that one more time. على ذلك.
ذلك.
Okay. لا شهيد.
لا شهيد.
Very good. Well done. A very nice recitation. We're sort of running out of time because I have to move on to the letters of the day. But well done. You recited very beautifully, and keep practicing more and more, and try and figure out how you would be pausing at the end of the letter or at the end of the verse if you were, if you had a fathatain or if you had a dammatain on top. Yes?
Okay.
So well done for today. You did a great recitation. Take care. Allah Hafiz.
Allah Hafiz.
Allah Hafiz. Okay, so I hope everyone understood the rule that I was going through today actually, because the way we pause on a fathatain is very different to how we would pause if we were pausing on a dammatain or a kasratain. That's why dammatain and kasratain were taught together last week, because the same rule applies to both of them. But with fathatain, we did it in a separate lesson because we knew it would have been a different rule. The rule is different, even though they're all tanweens that we're talking about. So that's something that will come more with practice, okay? With a fathatain, you will stretch the sound out towards the end. And with a dammatain and a kasratain, you will replace that with a sukoon or a jazm. Okay, so that's the difference between those types of tanween. So we're just going to quickly look at the letter of the day, okay? The first one is Dha. And you can already hear I'm elongating it for 5 seconds. It says we should elongate it for 5 seconds. So I'll say that once more for you. Dha. Okay? You can see it's got a 1 dot above. That's how you know it's a Dha. And it can join to any previous letter, and it can also join to any letter upcoming, so to the next letter. So here you can see this Dha is joining to this Fa, yeah? So it can join to the letter after or to the next letter. And in this case right here, it's also joining to the letter before. So in both cases, it can join to letter before and after. What's going to happen is that this small part of the Dha is going to be the one that's going to join onto the next letter. So it's just sort of a bend here, and then you have the Fa. And again, there's a bit of a bend here, and then it's joining onto the Fa. And here it's going straight, and then it's bending to go into the Ya. So this is Dha, right? You get the tip of the tongue, and you touch it, right? You touch the edges of the top 2 teeth, and you raise the tongue to the roof of the mouth, so the top part of the mouth. Air should escape with a slight vibration. Okay, so everyone at home right now, try saying Dha, and make sure that number 1, you elongate it for 5 seconds. Number 2, that you're giving it a round mouth. Number 3, that a bit of air is coming out of your mouth when you're saying the letter. And number 4, that a bit of vibration can be felt. If you're doing these 4 things, then you know that you're saying the letter absolutely fine. You're saying it correctly. So this is the first letter of the day that we went through today. And the second letter of the day, right, is Qaf, okay? Now, I do realize that you guys have gone through these 2 letters of the day, but this is just as source of revision for you, okay? So when you're saying this letter, you're going to elongate it for 5 seconds.
Assalamu alaikum. Assalamu alaikum.
Yeah, can you hear me now, co-host?
Yes, I can hear you, but when you have started the word off, after that we can't hear you.
Oh, right. I do not know what's going wrong today with the mic. I think there's someone else unmuted as well. If we can please make sure that everyone is muted. Okay, so could you hear the part where I was talking about the?
Yes.
Okay, perfect. So it's just a qaf, right?
Yes.
Okay, perfect. So okay, so we went through the letter of qaf. You elongate the sound for 5 seconds. That's the accurate pronunciation. And you can tell it's a qaf if you can see that there are 2 dots above it, okay? So let's say that again. Qaf. And then you elongate it for 5 seconds. It has 2 dots, as I just said. It can join to previous letters and to the letter after. So it can join to both letters before and after. Here it's joining to the letter after, which is vowel, yes. And it's sort of bending. This huge curve is not present when we are joining, okay? And this qaf is here. So it's like joining to the letter before and after. So you're seeing a bend. Now the difference is that here you can see a blob, so that you can notice the blob here. But here it's changed when it comes into the middle. It changes into a loop shape. Okay, so that is the difference between them. And how do you say the sound? Is you say the sound by using the furthest part of your tongue, which touches the roof. You can say the top of your mouth, blocking the throat. So I'll say that once more for you guys. Try saying it at home as well. Okay. So these were the 2 letters of the day that we had to cover, which was qaf and dha. Yeah. So let's just look at this surah again. If I could please have a student on the mic to do the recitation.
Okay, I'm going to call G2172.
Yep, G2172. Assalamu alaikum.
Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum salam. How are you today?
Good. How are you?
I'm good too, alhamdulillah. Okay, so may you please start off with the awud and tasmiyah, and then I'll lead you into the recitation, yeah?
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم.
Okay, perfect. So I've highlighted the verse that we're going to be starting off from. So I will recite the verse, and then we'll break it up within words, and then you can repeat after me, yeah?
Okay.
وَإِنَّهُ لِحُبِّ الْخَيْرِ لَشَدِيدٌ. So if we break that up into words now, وَإِنَّهُ
وَإِنَّهُ
perfect لِحُبِّ
لِحُبِّ
الْخَيْرِ
الْخَيْرِ
لَشَدِيدٌ.
لَشَدِيدٌ.
Perfect. Now, what do you notice? When there is a ba, it's got a shadda on top. What are we doing to the letter? So if any letter has got a shadda on top, what do we do?
No, I don't know.
You don't know, okay. No worries. If there is a shadda, so anyone at home listening as well, if there is a shadda and on top of a letter, you have to put pressure on that letter or put more emphasis on it. So rather than saying lihubil, we are putting pressure on the ba. We're saying lihubbil, and that's the rule of the tashdid, yeah? Does it make sense?
Yeah.
Perfect. Now, when we are pausing, what do you see? Do you know what this sign is called?
U.
Yeah, you're given. So here you wouldn't give an u sound. You'd be giving an un sound. Okay, so it's a tanween. It's a dammatain. So if we were not pausing at the end of this verse, we will say la shadidun. But because we are pausing, we are sort of taking away the dammatain and putting a jazm on top. So we're going to say la shadid. Say that for me, please.
La shadid.
Perfect. So looking at the next verse here, أَفَلَا يَعْلَمُ إِذَا بُعْثِرَ مَا فِي الْقُبُورِ. Okay. If I can please ask people to not really raise their hand, because then on my screen it covers up the verse. Okay. So let's go through it word by word now. أَفَلَا يَعْلَمُ
أَفَلَا يَعْلَمُ
إِذَا بُعْثِرَ مَا
إِذَا بُعْثِرَ.
Okay, very nice. So just look at this. This is a the. Try saying the for me.
The.
Beautiful. You said it very beautifully now. So well done. إِذَا بُعْ.
إِذَا بُعْ.
Very nice. And you need to give the ayin sound, which comes from the middle of the throat. So ayin is indeed one of your throat letters. So let's try saying that again. إِذَا بُعْ.
إِذَا بُعْ.
Very nice. Well done. ثِرَمَا.
ثِرَمَا.
Perfect. So with this the here, we're getting the tip of the tongue and we're touching the edge of the top teeth. Okay, so let's say that again. إِذَا بُعْثِرَ مَا.
إِذَا بُعْثِرَ ثِرَمَا.
Beautiful. Well done. فِي الْقُبُورِ.
فِي الْقُبُورِ.
Perfect. Well done. And at the end, are we elongating? Say this. Yes, well done. We are elongating because there is a vowel with a sukoon on top or a jism, so there is a vowel sakin, yeah, and the letter before that has got a dhamma on top. And if you ever come across a vowel sakin together with a dhamma before, then you will elongate that for 2 seconds. So let's say that once again. Fil qubur.
Fil qubur.
Perfect. Well done. Let's look at the next one here. وَحُصِّلَ مَا فِي الصُّدُورِ. So let's break that up. وَحُصِّلَ مَا.
وَحُصِّلَ مَا.
Perfect. So again, did you notice this letter has got a shadda on top? So are we putting pressure on it?
Yeah.
Yeah, perfect. So that's the rule of shadda, yeah? And remember your ha, that sound comes from the middle of the throat. So with your ha, remember, it's a throat letter. Okay, so let's say that one more time. وَحُصِّلَ.
وَحُصِّلَ.
ما في الصدور.
ما في الصدور.
Perfect. Very nicely recited, mashallah. And let's just look at the last verse here. إن ربهم بهم يومئذ لخبير. So let's break that up into words now. إن ربهم
إن ربهم
بهم يوم.
بهم يوم.
Okay, so it's a ya sound. So let's try saying that again. يوم.
يوم.
Beautiful, well done. إذ لخبير.
إذ الخبير.
Perfect. And this is the rule that you learned yesterday as well. You have a kasratain underneath here. Dhilla. Now normally, let's imagine the lam is not there. Yeah? You would just say idhin. So are you giving a nasal sound at the end?
Yeah.
Yeah, you are. Well done. You're giving any noon sound is known as a nasal sound. So idhin. Okay, so we're giving a nasal sound at the end. But when we are joining this the to the lam, dhilla, can you hear any nasal sound?
No.
No, exactly. So that's the rule that you went through yesterday. It's also known as assimilation or idgham kamil, right? So when you're joining it, you're not giving any nasal sound. So and that's because the letter after the tanween of kasra, the letter after is a lam mushaddad. Yeah? That's the reason why we're giving no nasal sound. It's because of the lam. So let's try saying that again. ذل خبير.
ذل خبير.
Perfect. MashaAllah, very nicely recited indeed. Keep practicing this and inshallah you'll be very fluent in the pronunciation soon. Okay? Perfect. Jazakallah khair for your help. Take care. Allah Hafiz.
Jazakallah Hafiz.
Jazakallah Allah Hafiz. Okay, so I've just got rid of all the highlight. For this last part, because we've come towards the end of the class, what we are going to do is I'm going to recite this once and for all for you guys. If you could please use your index finger or your shahada finger and actually follow along with me and understand sort of the rule as well towards the end. Today, the rule that we covered, I'll actually highlight that for you quickly, is basically waqf or pausing on top of a fathatain, okay? So, and the rest of the verses, there's no fathatain. We're not pausing on any fathatain. But just keep remembering, okay, just remember this all the time, that the way you pause on a fathatain is different to the way you're going to pause on a dhammatain or a kasratain, okay? And if you do not understand kasratain or dhammatain, then please do go on YouTube and watch the video that we posted where we taught you last Thursday. I think it's lesson 18, I believe. So you can go and check that as well if you want to help you understand it a bit more. And then you can come and re-watch this lesson to help you understand fathatain, okay? So I'll just do a quick recitation of this and please follow along at home. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم والعاديات ضبحا فالموريات قدحا فالمغيرات صبحا. So as you can see, I'm elongating the sound at the end, even though I am pausing. Yeah, I'm not putting a sukoon or a jazm there. With the fathatain, you basically just have a fatha and a alif right next to it. So you will elongate it for 2 seconds. فأثرن به نقعا فوسطن به جمعا إن الإنسان لربه لكنود وإنه على ذلك لشهيد وإنه حب الخير لشديد. So you've noticed already, even though this is a dammatain, with this one we will change into a sakoon, but with the fathatain you will not. So just remember that. أفلا يعلم إذا بعثر ما في القبور وحصل ما في الصدور إن ربهم بهم يومئذ لخبير. Okay, so guys, please do practice this surah over and over again so you guys do understand it in a bit more depth. Okay, so we are just going to look at the homework for today. You've been asked to practice Surah Al-Adiyat, verses 1 to 12. Alhamdulillah, we finished the surah. It's chapter 100 of the Holy Quran, so you can find it in the 30th part. And keep practicing Surah Al-Adiyat. And remember, you need to apply all the rules that you've been taught. And the more you practice, the easier and quicker you will understand the rules that you've been taught. Okay? And today, as you can see, we went through pausing on fathatain, that we said that if the word ends with a tanween of a fatha, it will change to a fatha with an alif. Okay, so you have a fatha here, and it's changing into, so you have a tanween, a fathatain here, but when you are pausing, that is going to change into a fatha and a alif. Okay, and then you will elongate it for 2 seconds towards the end. So you will elongate it for a bit. So please make sure that you do practice this rule as well as much as you can in Surah Al-Adiyat. And remember these 2 letters of the day that we went through today. We went through Qaf and we went through Dha. Okay, so just practice the sounds of the 2. And a good way to understand the rule a bit more is go to Surah Al-Adiyat, so the surah that we went through today, and try and understand where the Qaf and Dha is, and think of how you can say the word or how you can say the letter in a better way, okay? So as always, before we end class today, I will call a student on the mic to recite the end prayer. Co-host, may I please have a student on the mic?
Yes, I'm going to call G2222.
Yep, G2222. Assalamu alaikum.
Assalamualaikum.
Wa alaikum salam. How are you today?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good too, alhamdulillah. Jazakumullah for asking. So may you please start off with Dawood and Tasmiyah and recite the following prayer for me, please.
Okay. Allahumma.
Okay.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Allahumma arhamni Bil-Qur'anil Azim.
Perfect. And may you please recite the English for me as well?
Okay. Oh Allah, have mercy on me. Through the Quran, the great.
MashaAllah. Well done. Very nicely recited. Jazakallah khair. Take care. Allah Hafiz. Okay, so this was the concluding prayer. Alhamdulillah, we finished another lesson today. I know there was a bit of technical difficulties, so I will check into what happened today. But Jazakallah khair to everyone who attended the class today. I hope you understood the rule. And if not, then this your parents will be given access to the PDF, so you can use the PDFs to understand the rule a bit more. And please do practice as much as you can. Until then, take care of yourself, and I hope to see you in another class. So, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.